Oh, hello. My name is Mike Giver, and I'm a fourth-year graduate student here at Brandeis University.
And my name is Nate Tompkins. I'm a third-year PhD student here at Brandeis, working with Seth Braden.
And today we're going to tell you a little bit about a joint project that Nate and I are working on.
In our work, we're using a novel experimental system coupled with a simple theoretical model to study the pattern formation, synchrony, and emergent behavior that arises from a system of coupled oscillators. In nature, examples of these systems include fireflies that all flash in unison and the complex electrical activity of neurons. The Belousov-Zhabotinsky reaction is a periodic oxidation reaction. The reaction spends most of its time in the red reduced state and periodically flashes the blue oxidized state. A stirred beaker of the reactants will demonstrate this behavior. However, an unstirred dish will instead have oxidation wavefronts that propagate through the reduced medium. During the brief oxidation spike, the reaction produces an inhibitory chemical that ends the oxidation. If this reaction is then encapsulated in an emulsion environment, this inhibitory spike can diffuse out to its neighboring reactions. So what I do is create a microscale emulsion of hundreds of these oscillators so that they're all in nearest neighbor communication. The patterns that arise from such a system are what we can then study. Another interesting feature of this system is that we can include a catalyst that is photoinhibitable. By doing this, we can use the programmable illumination microscope to shine dots of light on individual droplets of the reaction. Doing this causes those particular droplets to cease oscillation and become a constant chemical boundary condition for the remaining drops. By doing this, we can create any sort of boundary condition we wish, including isolated drops and isolated Turing rings, which is what we're studying here. And at the end of this experiment, you can notice that each droplet is out of phase with its immediate neighbors. More technically, this system forms two phase clusters that are both pi out of phase. What we see here for this ring of 5 droplets is that each droplet chases its second neighbor around, tracing out a pentagram pattern.
One way that we've modeled this system was to use a locally coupled version of what's known as the Kuramoto model. Here, each droplet is considered to be an independent oscillator whose phase can vary between 0 and 2 pi. We then put in an interaction between neighboring oscillators such that every oscillator wants to be 180 degrees out of phase with its nearest neighbors. We can then ask what happens when we place these oscillators in a geometry that is incommensurate with their desired phase configuration. For example, when 5 oscillators are arranged in a ring, they are unable to fall into their desired antiphase state. Here we find that each oscillator wants to be either 72 or 144 degrees out of phase with its nearest neighbors, and the 144 degree state is found to be more strongly attracting. This exactly corresponds to the pentagram configuration that we showed you for the ring of 5 droplets.